Booker's 2024 Batch 1, the Springfield Batch. We haven't done a Booker's for a good chunk of time. Is this one hit, or is it one of the ones that's just a little bit off? We'll let you know in the review.
Welcome back to Exploring Whiskey. On this episode, we're going to be exploring the first batch Booker's, the Springfield Batch.
2024, first release.
Where Booker Noe was born.
Yeah, so that's the nod for this one. So we've done 7 other Bookers at this point, but we really haven't done them for a while.
Yeah,
we kind of skipped all of 2023. Just didn't get any of them. It just never did. I don't know. It just didn't happen.
It's another one of those bottles and expressions that we love. We both have had phenomenal expressions.
Absolutely.
There's been some that have
great.
Been like, meh, and we love it and kind of go, this is okay.
Right.
Yeah, we're fans, Booker fans.
Absolutely. The 2024-01, like you said, Springfield Batch is a nod back to where Booker Noe was born. Booker Noe, which this is named after, was the grandson of Jim Beam, was the master distiller for Jim Beam for in the mid 60s to the 90s or something like that.
Yeah, long
his
time.
kid is the master distiller, one of the master distillers now, and his grandson is another one.
Yeah.
So was it Fred and Freddie Noe?
Yeah,
I think
Fred and
is.
Freddie.
But they do this as generally speaking, it's a quarterly release, and it's a blend of a handful of barrels from various rick houses, various ages, give or take, like all this kind of stuff. Like, different, and they give you all that information. There's a little card inside that gives you all the information on how old it is exactly. This is 7 years, 7 months, and 8 days. So that the youngest whiskey in here is over 7.5 years old.
7.5 years old, yeah.
There might be something that's older than that too. So there's that. It gives you a little story about Booker Noe. It gives you all the warehouses, what floor on the warehouses. It gives you a lot of information. So they do this and they blend it all up. MSRP is around $90.
Keeps kind of climbing.
And it's been climbing years over years over years. Most of the time, if you can catch this for around $100, it's probably a pretty good price. I've also seen 120, 130. That's pretty normal too, honestly.
The newest Bourbon Junkies video, they got batch 2. He spent $180 for it.
To Adam's point earlier, it's kind of hit or miss. They're never horrible. I've never had one where I'm like, oh, that's disgusting.
Right.
But sometimes it's way too cinnamon forward. Sometimes it's this
Nutty.
weird dry nut note that like too much. But occasionally it's like a nice blend of those two things. A little bit of sweetness pops through, and
You get that candy note, that caramel note. A lot of times people say batch 1s are not their favorite either. Like traditionally, batch 1s of Bookers are not good.
yeah, it's usually 3s and 4s that tend to be in the top 10 rankings at the end of the year. So anyway, this particular bottle was part of the Whiskey Club meeting?
It was.
Ooh.
See, I like that nose.
Yeah, see, that's not aggressively one way or the other.
No.
I do get the baking spice, a little bit of cinnamon notes, a touch of a sweetness, brown sugar with a little bit of like roasted nuts, maybe like honey roasted nuts, maybe.
This marzipan, like this almost like roasted almond kind of. It's a sweet, nutty profile rather than the dusty.
Yeah. No, I'm going more like roasted honey nuts type thing, like.
And it gets sweeter the more and more I go back on the nose.
That's a good nose. Let's see if the palate goes.
Yeah, it's like one of those noses like, come on, deliver.
Proof comes through more than it did on the nose. I was surprised. I did not get much proof on the nose at all. The cinnamon is much more apparent on the palate.
Yep. Cinnamon.
Nice warm, just nice hug. Not an aggressive hug, just a nice hug. Not harsh in the back for 124.5 proof. That's really good.
There's a little
bit of nut. Blend.
There's a little bit of nut, but it's got that. It's not the main star.
No. The cinnamon sweetness is what comes through as the primary. But that baking spice and that cinnamon note is really the primaries that kind of come through here. I like the sweetness on the nose. The note, I'm going to say the nose is better than the palate right now. I like everything that comes through on the nose. A little bit of cinnamon, the sweet honey, brown sugar, light peanut, like everything about that nose is like, that's what I want from a Booker's.
Palate doesn't quite deliver though. I mean, you get cinnamon, there's sweetness there at the front, but the back, I mean, a lot of barrel char, a lot of barrel notes.
I could see some
tobacco.
barrel char. Yep.
I mean, there's got to be some age in there. There's got to be some older bourbon in here.
More than 7.5, yeah. I would think. I think there's probably some 9-ish in there, would be my guess. Maybe the water will magically open some of that sweetness that was on the nose. Because if it does that, I mean, that's winner all day long.
It's caramely. I get more caramel now. It's approaching like even chocolate, cocoa.
The ethanol was off-gassing really bad for me. So I kept getting caught with that. I am now getting more of that sweetness. Maple syrup is kind of where I'm going. I'm not quite to it. Cocoa, the cinnamon disappeared. Like that baking note that was very apparent.
It changed that maple. That you're explaining. It's real sweet now.
Almost, and that I must almost say also just a little bit like a cola type note, like cola syrup.
Mm-hmm. Took away some of the barrel char. Took away some of the aggressive finish, but still, I'm getting
the palate is underwhelming to the nose. Still,
it is. It's still
the nose is really like. I mean, it's the Olympics and all that stuff going on. Like the nose is in the 9s, easy, like easy a 9 nose.
Yeah.
The palate just doesn't quite follow up the way that I really wish it did.
Which tends to happen sometimes.
Usually one thing pops a little bit better than, man, that cola note is really on the finish. I'm just getting like this weird cola note now.
Yeah, the nose is great. It keeps evolving on me. Like
I'm now being, I'm getting to the point where I'm just trying to be nitpicky because the nose is so good.
Yeah.
The palate it's a little bit flat. It like the right notes aren't popping for me.
It's just barrel note.
There's a barrel note. It's drying out like that oaky like drying out thing going on. Yep. If it just had a little bit of what's on the nose, a little sweetness,
a little bit more of that sweetness,
and like an oil that coated versus just kind of like that wood dry out. It's really close to being one of those banger batches, but it's not quite there.
Because as it sits, the deep finish, like it's not that. At first, I think this is going to be really drying, really tannic, but it mellows out.
It does mellow out.
We spent $115 on this one.
Okay.
Well, it was everyone's money.
Yes.
Thanks, club. But I mean, it was, I don't know. This is a tough buy at anything over $100. I mean, $90
to $100 is usually a pretty good investment for you're going to get good proof. You're usually going to get somewhere 7+ years old, and you're going to get a relatively consistent product.
Yeah.
Just some are better than others. Right. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
After 110, it starts to almost not be worth it.
Yeah.
It's still, I mean, if you don't have one, it's like, everything about it's really cool. The display box, the information that they give you and all. If you don't have one and you see one for $115, $120, it's a good splurge. It's a good showpiece. It's a good throw it up on the shelf type bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also you can easily Google a lot of the great batches.
Yeah.
The grandma, what was the biscuits, the ham.
Beaten biscuits.
Yeah,
and country ham.
Yeah, you might be paying a lot of money for those guys because those are years old.
Uh-huh.
If you're a Beam fan, of course, grab one. If you haven't tried one, grab it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, batch one, we're going to give it about a, what? Not quite.
I'm going to give it a number. It's in the mid-7s-ish.
Yeah.
Would be what I would, mid-7. It's good. The nose is really good, and that's what's propping it up. But in my opinion, I don't buy and drink a whiskey to just enjoy the smell. I more want to enjoy the palate. So
yeah.
I use that to bring that brings the score down. So
yeah, for
this
sure.
This is a mid sevens, a 7.4, 7.6, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a try if you have the opportunity.
Try it if you have an opportunity.
And
get it at a
point.
bar, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you find it at MSRP.
Yeah,
sure.
if you're getting it for 90, absolutely. Yeah, I'd totally buy that.
Secondary,
Nope, not this batch.
Before we wrap things up, I just wanted to remind everybody, September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And we here at Exploring Whiskey do a fundraiser every September in honor of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we raise those funds for St. Jude Hospital. There is a new diagnosis of childhood cancer every 2 minutes. That's over 300,000 children every year. And unfortunately, because children tend to not talk about when they have pain and things like that, a lot of times those cancers have already spread throughout it in the body, which makes it even more difficult to treat. So treatment has to happen immediately. St. Jude is researching constantly new medicines, new ways to treat different varieties of cancers. Every time they come up with a new treatment plan, they share all their findings around the world with other hospitals. That is the reason why we chose to support St. Jude. We did take our son there for a second opinion when he was diagnosed. And while you hear that no family pays anything, it is an amazing experience while you're there. They had because we were brand new to the facility, they had someone dedicated to showing us around to all of our different appointments. There is a food voucher that they give you, and they have a full-blown cafeteria with so many different types of food, because honestly, when your child is sick and getting treatments, sometimes their appetites can be pretty particular. So they have a wide variety of food for the patients, the family, housing, just so much that they take out of you having to think about while your child is going through treatments. And then you can really just focus on the child and the treatment and trying to just live life a little bit. Everything that is donated in the month of September, we will match, which is amazing for us to be able to help support a great charity. Anything that you can donate, we would very much appreciate. And now we'll wrap up this review.
Hope you enjoyed our review. It's 7-ish.
7-ish.
So
Mid-sevens.
If you get the opportunity to try it, there's got to be a lot of bars around here.
I would think so.
Specialty whiskey bars or better restaurants. They're going to have this one.
Yep.
Give it a try.
Yep.
Yeah. Not bad.
No, definitely take it. We've reviewed so many of the different Bookers. Beaten biscuits. I think we'll do the beaten biscuits. We'll put that up there. Granny's Batch. I may have a playlist. If I have a playlist set up for Bookers,
I think there is.
Then I'll just link the playlist, and you can kind of go through all of them, because there was about 2.5 years where I just bought every single one that I saw.
If we can turn the camera around, right back there.
Yeah, exactly. I might. You might see a B-roll shot of those bottles back there at some point during this episode.
In the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll link that up there. If you could, a little thumbs up, a like down at the bottom, really helps the channel grow, gets us exposed to more people. We're continue to try to grow and try to share out what we've been able to experience.
Yeah.
A lot of whiskey purchasing.
Stumbled upon us for the first time, give us a subscribe.
Absolutely.
Comment? What is your favorite Booker's Batch through the years?
Yes. Yeah.
A
That'd be
lot of good
interesting.
things.
They've really done some really great things at different times. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, thanks very much for watching. See you on the next episode. Cheers.